Hey everybody, so let's start again. Hello Derry Potato Lucas, do you like a new characters animation? Which one, or if I'm doing one? So we will start with a little thunder animation, quick visual effects. I'm going to explore that a little bit more uh, in addition to fight scenes in the next weeks. So this will be a little bit a focus as a little preparation also for then exploring visual effects, impact frames, and spicing up a little bit our fight scenes. With that, I would say let's start in. So today I'm sketching from the iPad, not Clip Studio Paint, as I'm doing, or I was doing in the later streams. Also, okay, I'm not using Procreate Dreams. I'm using the normal Procreate version, which is perfectly for basic animations. If you're not planning to do longer things, or even for that you could do then, you then would have to do a couple of workarounds, because you're a little bit limited. I can show you in a second what you can do in the normal Procreate app in terms of animation. Yeah, I'm just sketching here a little figure, warming up a little bit before then going into the first animation. So let me quickly start as a warm-up animation. Also for every one of you who missed it maybe, I also like this animation here, where we have maybe here little stuff, something like that. Then I'm going, like I made shortcuts, as you can see here, in Procreate, so I'm a little bit faster with animation. So I built my own little custom menu where I can quickly access the animation assist, the onion skin, the next frame, previous frame, create a new layer without going here into the layer menu. And what else? Open the layer menu panel. Even this I can access like that. Yeah, I didn't animate it so much in Procreate in the last month, but it's okay. It's simple. That's a cool thing. You don't have so many options or menus in your way. It's yeah. If you can see, I think the user interface you can see it. It's yeah, limited, really straightforward in Procreate. So we're creating a new layer here, and now this is a cool exercise to practice a little bit, or if you want to animate a little bit more with weapons or with swords. This is a cool warm-up exercise to practice a little bit smears like that, and you can practice here a little bit the rotation. That's cool. Of how this here will spin actually. And like with a couple of frames, you already sketched in a spinning rotation. Of course, you could bring it more to an end and let it also ease out a little bit better. But I mean, how many drawings are this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, with just like not many drawings, you can already create the illusion that this thing here is rotating, and then you can experiment here a lot. Like I also did a couple ones as a warm-up sometimes. And yeah, you can play with different kind of smears here, try different smears out. And yeah, just have fun here. Let me see, this one I did as a warm-up. And also for sword, similar thing. Like here are every drawing on one canvas. And then if we are activating our animation here, the onion skin, just taking a stick and let it move from point A to B. And you want here in the beginning, like this drawing here right now. You want here more drawings. So I placed here more drawings. Each stroke here is one drawing. And here in the middle less drawings, and then more drawings at the end. So you have that smooth flow. And here you add most or the strongest smear. So smear is this here, this emulates motion blur. Make it strongest here in the middle, and then let it fade out again here with more drawings and more drawings in the beginning. So slow in the beginning, fast in the middle, and then slow also at the end. And with that, yeah, you can create that little animation here before then also having a character who's wielding a sword, and when things getting longer or a little bit more complicated. Just as a little insight here, you have any question, let me know. And what we're going to do now is here, I started a little bit. Let me see, I did a couple of experiments. See if they were working. Yeah, how to animate a little flash here. A little lightning strike. So it's super fun actually. You don't have to worry about anatomy, stuff like that. You can just have fun. Have fun here a little bit with visual effects. And these things, or these basics here, then also translate later to more complex effects. We will also maybe do a little study later. But yeah, these are super fun to animate. Just a couple of examples here, explorations I did. This one was a little bit observed from Attack on Titan. From the transformation, maybe you recognize it when they're transforming to Titans. And they're all, if you're observing it or next time you see a scene, they always have these little circle here. That's interesting to see. Cool. Cool. And yeah, some work better, some work not so good. But yeah, and you can hear, like, you can't really do much wrong here. There are a couple of principles, of course, but yeah, feel free here to explore a couple of scenes here. So let me do a new canvas here. It's a little bit easier if you make your background a little bit darker. And then, hello Ikawa Toru, what software is this, sir? This is Procreate. You see here, Procreate. This is written like that. I think this app here, Procreate, on the left. It's an app for iPad. I'm not sure if it's available for every phone or system on Android. Not sure about that. But yeah, it's more for sketching and painting. My iPad is coming tomorrow. I hate my data analyst job. Okay, this for me that's a funny comment. I hope you're doing good. And yeah, why not being more creative with the iPad? Say I saved all your videos, gonna watch them tomorrow. That's super kind of you. Yeah, I'm not sure if you want to watch every video in a row, but yeah. You can do a lot with the iPad already with Procreate, animating all the basics you can do there. It's a great app. You can activate, for example, here the animation assist. I did this custom, so you can build it like that you have the menu like that. And then you have here at the bottom, there are also super simple YouTube tutorials on how to animate in Procreate. Yeah. Let me do here again a new. So like I did it there, you don't want to do it like that. But I'm a little bit lazy now. So you have here, every one of this represents one frame. And then I can create here a new layer. And if I'm creating a new layer, I'm automatically have a new animation frame. And you will see in a second what I mean when we're animating a little lightning bolt here. So, and I can now turn this one here into the background. And I can also go here and lock it, so I'm not actually or accidentally on accident sketching on my background. Hello, Mr. Glassman. Hello, I'm new here and I'm new at 2D animation. Hello. Yeah, we're starting with a super basic exercise. So I think also for beginner animator, this can be a fun thing to animate, even if you don't have any experience. And now I'm usually if I'm doing if I'm lazy on a Sunday, sometimes I like to animate on the iPad in Procreate, but If I'm doing more complex animations, I'm using Clip Studio Paint. But there is no right or wrong way. Depends on what you prefer, what you want to do, how your project is looking, stuff like that. Okay, with that, we're going here into the first animation, and let's start super simple with just like a little stroke here, maybe like that. Doesn't have to look super cool. Maybe like that. And now we're creating a new layer. So this will be my, this is the first frame, this is the second frame. I can turn on my onion skin. And now let's make this lightning bolt here super thick. And we're starting super simple here. Also for me, still explorating it, making everything white here. And then we can already see, and I'm creating here a new layer in the beginning, which I will say, this layer will be empty, but I will say duration 2. Mr. Glassman is asking, which frames per second do you use? So at the moment it's 15 frames per second. In Procreate, like in Clip Studio Paint, for example, you first set in the frames per second. In Procreate, you can flexible. I mean, you can be in every program flexible, but here you can change it. And right now it's 15. It's not so important right now how many frames per second. I can bring it to 24. It's a standard, but you can also do it below if you want to see your animation a little bit more slowly. Cool. So I will have here in the beginning an empty layer where I will say hold for 3 frames here. So the thunderbolt here don't start immediately. So I have a little bit time where nothing happens here in the beginning. And then we have this first flash here. And the easiest way to animate here a little thunderbolt would be just to have a thin bolt here, then a thick one. And now you just let it disappear and make it thin again. Maybe like that. And now create another one where you really have only sparks left. And this would be the easiest way, or the basic principle on Animate, a little flash here. But of course you want to add a little bit more dynamic, and it looks a little bit stiff. So what can we do there? So then with that, let's create a new layer here and make things a little bit more fun. So animation assist, new layer. And now turn off my onion skin for a second, make this one the background. We're going in here and we want to have a little bit more fun here with our flash. Maybe we're sketching it like here, like that. And now what we're going to do, we make this first part here a little bit thicker and now create a new layer. And you maybe, if I did a couple of tutorials on how to animate flags, and the principle are a little bit simple. So for one thing, this is the thickest part here. You want now to bring that thick part step by step down. So what does that mean? We're sketching again our flash here. And what I'm also adding is not only the thick part that is moving down here, but also I'm mirroring the lines that I sketched before. So right now, as you can see, I have the sketch on the previous frame sketched like that. Now I'm sketching it like that. So in the opposite direction. Doesn't have to be the 100% opposite, but a little bit, yeah, that gives a little bit more nice dynamic on how the flash here will look like at the end. So, and also like this part before was bigger. So now I want to make this part now bigger here and bringing the thick part here a little bit more down. And with that, I already created a cooler dynamic here. Cool, and we can see in a second how that will look. And the frame per second, if you're animating Procreate, is not so important to set that in here. Cool, and now the next one. And I also can say, okay, I only want to see the previous frame. And now I'm sketching here the next one in. And this one can be maybe a little bit more straight. And now the thickest part will be here. Like that. Again, I want to have a little bit more space here in the beginning where nothing happens. And this already feels more dynamic. And now we play a little bit with timing and things where nothing happens. So I'll create here a new layer and add nothing, create another layer. And now I want to see a little bit more. So I have, this was the last one. Here nothing happens. And here maybe we're adding a little, yeah, a little explosion or impact. Like that maybe. Keeping it super simple here for the first one. Like that. Then again in layer where nothing happens. And again a new layer. And now what we're adding is a super thick lightning strike here. And we can see in a second that we have that also in nature with real lightning bolts. Or like if you watched a lot of Pokemon, maybe you observed how Pikachu is attacking, then this will be familiar with you. So then we have the thick one, and we can also see it looks cool. And again, also cool thing in Procreate, you can just play here a little bit with the frames per second rate and see what do you like. Usually what we would do in an animation program is here set these on ones or twos, but yeah, you can do that later. Or it's a little bit not so or too much time to do that here manually. So if you want to have a slower preview, just change a little bit here how fast you want to see it. Cool. And now what you want to do is we have this big strike here, and now you want to make it thinner. Like that. And now it's disappearing slowly in the last one. Create a last one. Yeah, and with that you have animated quickly a lightning strike that has more dynamic. I would even say you could play and say, okay, maybe this one could be also inverted in terms of the direction how it's hitting. So instead having it like this, you could say having it like that would be maybe work actually better. But yeah, and if you want to create an additional impact, you could also make this one completely white. And yeah, have here even more impact when the flash strikes. Cool, yeah, super straightforward. If you have any question, let me know. I mean, we can do another one. But yeah, that basic strike is relatively simple, and you can apply these principles to a lot different animation and effects. Where we'll do also maybe a couple more of explorations soon and show them here. Cool, so maybe let's be and now if you got these basic principles, just try it out and experiment. Just sketch here down here in your first one a new lightning strike and see what do you like, what's working, what's not working. Experiment a little bit. Yeah, so no right or wrong there. Just trying things out. So maybe I'm doing this now and see if it's working. Also for me, really just experimenting and seeing what does look good, what feels good. And that's a cool part in animation. You can always try out new things. So maybe I want to make this one a little bit bigger and move it a little bit more here. So it's a little bit more centered. And I create a new layer here in the beginning, let it hold a couple more seconds. So here I just have a tiny little flash, and then I have the big one. Oikawa is right. In the last 2 frames, we are showing the lightning disappearing. Can we put few lines near the explosion to showing the particles flying and stuff in this that same exact layers last 2? Yeah, we can do that, of course. I can show it in a second here. Of course, we can add that. Maybe we're doing also something like this, like I showed before, or like how the flashes from Attack on Titan is working. Maybe like that. With these sounds here. Maybe like that. And maybe we're doing this one here. And now we let it disappear here. And now these are no dust, but like last little particles of the lightning disappearing. Maybe even too much. So you have to find a nice balance here on what looks good. And maybe create another one here. Maybe something like that. And the same you could do also with dust, or with it, like if something drops on the air and stone would be the same thing, just of these little lines here. You could also add like here, yeah, this explosion here, like that. And then in the last frame you would have here a little bit, couple of lines left. Yeah. And then I think we are playing it a little bit faster and also works better. I mean, yes, your thesis more faster usually. Yeah, cool. Super fun. Okay, with that, let's watch a couple of examples. First, let's go in here. And this one also, like, to see it a little bit in nature, it's always fascinating. Let me see if you can see it. For example, this one here. That's always cool to see how these flashes then look in nature. And of course, we're pushing a little bit, make it more extreme or bigger when animating it, like I showed a couple seconds ago. But you can also make it more realistic, like we see here. And I mean, also if we go frame by, that's always cool. Maybe just if you're also animating whatever it is, just go on YouTube and then go frame by frame through it. And then you can see first, this is the first frame here, where you have like the super bright part here and different lightning strikes going down here. And then you have it here, a little bit smaller, and then this one would represent the big one we animated. And then you have like also this frame where you have nothing. That's also too important to add. And then again, you have a big one. But yeah, and then of course all these strikes also look differently. So you don't have like one that is always the same, or different forms also, like this one is also super big. So yeah, just be free and experiment there and have fun with it. This one looks so fascinating. Yeah, you don't want to get hit by these. I think you have to be really, really lucky if you're surviving one of these. I mean, sometimes you hear the stories that someone survived a lightning strike, but I'm not sure if you're feeling good after that. Never actually did research on what the consequences are. Like if you can just, continue normal living. Hello, Mr. Glassman. I'm German. Maybe you can hear it. Hard to hear. But reality shock. Yes, I'm German. Okay, cool. Super cool lightning strikes. And then again, what I wanted to see also, like how in anime these techniques are used, and maybe do a little study. Let's see. So, I mean, these are also super cool. But you see, similar principles just in these few seconds here. Watch it again because it's so satisfying. Super cool. And then we can go frame by frame through it. Like almost like a Super Saiyan transforming here. But he's using Haki. So you have like this little spark here. This lightning here beginning slowly. But you have like similar forms I showed in the animation we did. Then it's going up here around his body. Then you have these impact frames here. But also it's similar, just adding a white frame we did. Of course, these are a little bit more cooler. But yeah, the flash effect is similar. And then you have this lightning here hitting the ground. And yeah, doing this thing. And also just observing. You can also just take inspiration of the shapes here and going back and forth. And then and also here, like these shapes here, also super cool. Yeah, taking inspiration from it. And then later, I can't wait to dive more deep into impact frames in the future. Oikawa's asking, what's an impact frame? Is this something similar to what we discussed in Lightning, like having one complete white layer that one? Yeah, it's almost that. For example, an impact frame is where you reversing a little bit the lightning. So you have this scene here, and now this one here would be the impact frame, and this one where you only have these. It can be also with color, but often you have like this black and white effect here, where the slides here are really pushed to the extreme, and you have no background. And it's a little bit, yeah, like we did the white completely canvas we did. Yeah, and if you have any question, I showed in a I'm not sure if it's in there, but there's a Sakuga wiki. And in there, if you have any question to Japanese animation, you can check here, for example, what Gengar's the key animations you have. I'm not sure if you have impact frames in here, but you can also like that. Also saw a super cool video about it. But yeah, impact frames are super cool, and just think I think one thing is not to overuse them. So use them like in special moments, or also when the flash hits the strongest, then we're using it. But yeah, you also have impact frames, usually monochromatic or otherwise chromatically stylized drawings hidden within sequence to give them extra oomph. And always, yeah, it's always this flashy effect that you have. Okay, yeah, you see them a lot in anime. If you're watching, you can also go, for example, here to the Sakugaboru, and then you have these categories here in the left. You go on impact frames, and then you have only animations that uses impact frames, and you can watch all kind of different impact frames used here. Yeah, and you can use them very differently. But yeah, I think there are not a lot of episodes with impact frames. Cool. Okay, then another little lightning here is this one. I think this is a little bit older animation, but still I like the lightning effect here. You see here in the left. And I like the form that change that is happening here. From these seconds here. Also before, this flashing. That is very, very similar to actually how real lightning strikes work. And then I like this one here. This shape here. Super beautiful, animated. From here, like we did, first it's smaller. Then almost the same shape here gets a little bit bigger. And then it splits up here and gets smaller. And super disappears beautifully. So you have these super cool curves here. You can also add when the lightning then disappears. Yeah, and maybe with starting scenes like this, you can learn so much. So let me do a quick study here from that scene. Going back here on our canvas. And yeah, do a little study how this is working. Doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe like that. And now the next one will be bigger. This is our background. And now this one will move down here. And like that. Almost looks like a tree when sketching these. Reminds me of sketching trees. Where I learned a little bit the basics of sketching, especially dynamic sketching, if this sounds familiar to you. Yeah, if you want to learn drawing fundamentals, I can highly recommend dynamic sketching and all the content from Peter Hahn. I think, yeah, almost the best drawing exercises and the way to learn how to sketch or draw that is out there. Highly recommend it. It's also time extensive, but yeah, can learn a lot from it. Okay, cool. So we have here a little bit things going on. Maybe like that. Maybe a little smaller here. Cool. And now it's splitting up here. Like that. You have this branch here. Yeah, you have these different branches here. You can explore and try out what's working, what's not working. Yeah. And here, really, what's important is it's not about animating something that looks super cool. Of course, you want a cool result you're proud of. But yeah, focus more on experimenting. And the more mistakes you do and you see them, the more you learn out of it. And yeah, and then can memorize for yourself, then for your next animation, what was working, what was not working, and bring that over. So, and of course, when then having more branches here, the animation gets a little bit more time intensive. So we need also then more time to finish things up. That's why also I like to keep things super simple then a lot of times. Cool. And for me, what I'm taking away is here to get a good feeling on how to sketch these lightning bolts here. So when to use curved lines, when straight lines. So I feel like the key thing here is not to have round shapes, but sketch them more straight. And Mr. Glassman is, can I talk about off the topic? Of course, you can ask everything, write everything, almost everything, I would say. If it's too much off the topic, I just leave it there, I will think. But go free. And of course, if I can help, I try to help. Is there any internship in Berlin to 2D animation? That's a good question. Depends then also what kind of 2D animation. All good. Just trying to think. So yeah, I'm not sure even there's not much going on in terms of anime production. Of course, the most thing that you can, or what's happening is in Japan. There's a studio not in Germany, another studio, but they're animating super close to anime style, and I think they're in UK, and they're maybe also offering internships, but in Berlin. For me, like I'm working as an art director professionally in the advertising industry, and I'm doing for work actually more motion design work, not 2D animation. So working a lot with After Effects. But 2D animation, I can maybe do a little research, and if I found things, I can in the next stream, or you write me directly or comment, or under this video maybe, like you want, write me, or in the next stream, or you write me a comment on my socials on Instagram or direct message. But yeah, I can see if I find something, but there is not too much going on actually with 2D animation in Berlin. I would say the best chances you have is to go actually freelance. But yeah, or project wise. Because a lot of 2D animation is done by freelance artists. And depends then also, of course, on the style. But I would say this is an opportunity for you to collect experience. There's way more in Berlin in terms of other animation fields, 3D animation. You can do a lot of 3D animation, or not a lot, but way more than 2D animation in Berlin. And also motion design. If you can learn After Effects, you also have way more possibilities with that. And they can have similar principles. Okay, this is our little study here. Yeah, it's okay. I focus more on the actual sketching here, the actual branches. I feel like the dynamic here could be a little bit rounder. So yeah, a little bit my bad where I missed things, and the timing is not working perfectly. Yeah. Olka was asking, we have created different canvas, right? One with the explosion set and one which you are working currently. Can we combine them both and get single canvas? Yeah, I think you can do that. So you could, for example, or I'm not even sure, let me try. So, for example, in Procreate, you can open your linear menu here and group these. Say this is group 1, like that. And I'm not sure if it's in Procreate possible. I think you have to leave them out of a group. But what you can do is, for example, do here a new layer, keep it empty, and start here your new animation. And if you want to combine them, I think what you would have to do is, like, you can have multiple layers in one group. For example, I could say add here an empty layer and say this is now my group. And now in this group here, I can sketch multiple things in. For example, let's turn off my onion skin. This layer represents this one here. And now I could go over it, for example, on this layer, and add a little shadow here to my flash here. This is what you can do actually. If you want to combine these, I think you would have to use an additional program like After Effects. Yeah, I think that's what I meant. You're a little bit limited in Procreate on what you can do in terms of animation features. But yeah. In Clip Studio Paint, you can do that what you was asking. You can have multiple of these canvases here and stack them on top and combine these. Yeah, I think so. If you want to have, like, you can't have like here multiple rows in Procreate. That's also what I meant. It's more like for simple things, because you really working like from one frame to the another. But in Procreate also has. Let me quickly show it. Procreate Dreams. They did also an animation software. So this one is Procreate for sketching. So the main purpose originally was sketching and painting, but they also have like an animation one that's called Procreate Dreams. I also bought it, but I never had the time to fully explore it. But yeah, I think here you can do that. We're stacking multiple layers or animation was on top. So on one you have your background animated, above you have your character animated, then above you have like your hairs or whatever animated, lightning. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So then another one I wanted to show you is this one here. I also like this one. Super cool. Also more older. All control, all good. I also had the same. At some point, we all have the same question. It's just a question of like when you started exploring animation, for example. But yeah, we're all learning the same. So this one I also liked. A little bit older, but also cool to see. Not playing. I'm not sure here with Sakura made you have that experience. Sometimes it's not loading so good. And yeah, I'm always not sure if it's yeah, because of my internet or whatever. But you can also just download it. This was not the one. Okay, we can play this one right now, but it's okay. And if you want to check out more lightning videos, just go in here, Sakura Boru, go under the tag lightning, and you can explore so many cool different ways of animating a little flash. Cool. Okay, with that, already 1 hour passed. And also, Miss Glassman, no problem. Thank you so much. I will come the next time to ask again. But yeah, I will do check a little bit and then give you a reply. I can say there is not much, but maybe I will find something. Let's see. The last thing I wanted to do, this one was super brutal here. I originally wanted to do a little study of The Witcher. Maybe you've watched it, but it's so brutal. For me, I like it, but I'm not sure, like in terms of streaming and showing it, because it's I think over 18. Yeah, not a problem. But then we're taking a lot of the Rings. I wouldn't say less brutal, but this part is okay. And maybe yeah, do a simple study of this scene here, where we have this little yeah, cool scene here where it's hitting the urukai. And of course you immediately have the music in your ears. Okay, cool. So maybe let's do this one, and we'll do it super simple also. So let me go back here, create a new animation canvas here. And yeah, I want to do the figure super simple. So you will see in a second what I'm meaning. So sometimes maybe you know that you lose yourself in details. So I like to really focus on the main movement here and keep this figure super simple. Let's see if we are able to do that. So nothing fancy here, just a simple figure. Let's see. Maybe a little bit too big. Maybe a little bit smaller here. So like that maybe. I don't see the legs so good. So we have to improvise here. If you want to see the reference again, let me know. I can also blend it in. Now let's go like that maybe. Cool. Maybe like that. Okay, and now let me see how he's holding his sword. So the sword right now is more somewhere here, I would say, pointing back. Maybe like that. Maybe like that. Behind his body. Behind his body. Cool. Okay, let's see if this is working. Let me also do a little bit work out better the slack here. Maybe like that for the first pose. So let's go to the next one. Maybe we here, skipping a couple of frames. So he's going down here, keeping things super simple. So like that maybe. And now he's wielding the sword here. Like that. Okay. Let's see if we can use it here. And in the original, he's not bending his legs so much, but I'm just taking the liberty here right now. add that. So he's moving down here. Was a little smear here added. Cool. And now the next one is wielding here it to the front. And I want to see a couple of less frames here. And now he's just moving slightly here to the side. Maybe like that. Now the shoulder here comes more to the front. This arm also comes here more to the front. Maybe like that. This arm comes also somewhere. See how he's wielding it like that. This arm is here, and we have this arm here, going here, like that. And this one almost can stay as it is. And now the sword here will come to the front. Maybe something like that. Cool, before he's then striking to the front here. New layer. Like that. And he's just now. This we can leave similar. And now we're adding here like the biggest smear where he's slashing to the front. And of course, important to make sound effects. Cool. And again, now here, can leave this as it is. Like that. Maybe something like that. Cool. And the next frame, maybe then, yeah, he arrives here. And goes a little bit back here. We see him here from the side. This one should represent the shoulders, like that. One arm here and the other one here. And the sword here to the front. Like that. You see? Yeah, maybe one frame here is missing. But I like the roundness here of this shape here. I think is working good. And maybe we're adding one more here in between. So again, onion skin. And adding one frame in between that. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And the arm goes here and the leg can stay like this. And here with that he's slashing here. I want to change a little bit the angle here of this word, making it more going maybe that direction here, maybe more like this. Better. Going out of the frame here, but here. And then can add here. And you can also go sometimes, if you don't want to see the previous or the next frame. For example, I don't want to see the previous one now. I just make this one white. So I just see this one here. So I can focus on that. Super simplified figure here. Voice is disappearing. My voice. Like that. Improving a little bit the timing here. Like that. Cool. And maybe also letting it slowly go in there. And maybe add here another one. I mean, these can always stay as they are. I mean, it's in general sketched in relatively roughly here, so it's not so important how you sketch actually the head shape. You can correct it at the end. Cool. And also, let me slow down here a little bit while sketching, even if we're rough. We don't need to rush the process too much. And yeah, slowing things down a little bit at the end, I think is always helping. And in last one here, where we activating the previous frame again. And now here one more in between. Like that. Cool. And the same we could do also for the beginning. So it's also not starting too fast. Yeah, of course we could then go over it and clean up a little bit more the lines, so it's not wobbly everything. But I think the same, the basic movement is working okay. Super cool. And of course I will not animate a completely new one, but what I like to do also, I feel like this one was already again animated, or the figure was again too too realistic, even if it was simplified. So what can help a lot here to start again and do another row where you're really forcing yourself to have a super simple figure. And I like also to remind myself the Animator's survival kit, where you have these super simplified figures, and these are perfect for studying almost every movement. So you're using more a figure like that here. Let me quickly show it, the scene here. So you're using a figure like that, that can help you a lot to learn new movement and to really keep the figure simple. And yeah, don't lose yourself too much in detail when then going here to our scene. We really forcing yourself, even if it's not looking, if you would say, oh, I want to sketching differently, it can help a lot to keep this figure here super simple. So forcing myself here to have a super simplified figure here. Something like that. Of course, this can look a little bit cooler. Then, of course, you can take a little bit time to design the figure a little bit, but the principle in itself should be, yeah, that you don't lose yourself too much in details. Maybe something like that also. But yeah, keeping the figure relatively simple. And then you maybe would have here the sword on the back. Maybe like that. The feet need more work. More work. And if you see the foot from the front, you don't see too much from the side. So maybe like this, just like that. And now we would sketch in the next one. And still forcing ourselves here to keeping the body and the arms super simple. And I mean, this is a cool thing to learn animation, but also if you haven't done too many figure drawing things, it's also cool then, so you're not overwhelmed with the anatomy of the human body. And yeah, you keep the figure super simple and still can make look the animation super cool in the end by applying the principles of animation. And first sketching here in the key drawing, so we would have key drawing number 1, key drawing number 2, and then the next key drawing. And yeah, forcing ourselves to keep the figure simple. And then, of course, right now, not with a smear, but you can also, like I did before, start with a smear like you want. And here gets tricky on how the arm is actually, he's holding it, maybe like this with a little foreshortening. And then he's wielding here the sword. And of course, remind ourselves that we want to keep things simple here. So here we have 3. And the last one, maybe we could skip already here to this one. super sketched in roughly now. Maybe like that. Because we would add here like one more where we have that little smear here to in. But yeah, keeping the figure simple is super helpful when exploring first a new animation, something new, and not feeling so comfortable with the anatomy. But that's not a problem. You still can learn so much about animation with just simple figures or all the principles. Yeah, and that's always something I also want to remind myself, because when having these simple figures here, then it's way more easier. Also something I want to do, like I have this reference from the side, but then I want to go into perspective, and I can do that way more easier. Like if I have already like a simple figure here, I can just take these simple shapes here and bring them into perspective and sketch here in my figure with a sword here, somewhere here, that, and then it's way more easier to go into perspective. Cool. And that's, I think I will explore that in the next streams, going here into perspective. So start with the basic figure, then translate it into perspective, and then we can always increase the complexity later. Of course, you can always start also with like a little bit figure like this, but as you can see here, we would need way more time here to see like which lines we want to place and where to place them. And then of course we would need to go over here to make a little bit more less wobbly, because like a lot of frames here are not sketched out properly enough. So we would need to go over it. But yeah, for animation study, this is also cool. At the end also, there is no right or wrong way, different approaches with different goals and things you can learn. Yeah, okay, super cool. Again, 1 hour 70 minutes flies so fast when animating. That's always the thing. I find also fascinating sometimes, yeah, there are also other animators with streaming, and I saw one who did like an 8-hour animation stream, and I thought just, what the fuck? I feel like around an hour is good, but maybe, yeah, for longer projects, I will do also at some point a longer stream. But yeah, fun session. Super cool. Also animating the flashes was fun. Yeah, learning a lot. And then soon we can also explore impact frames. Can't wait to do that. I will also think to explore more visual effects. So also explore a little bit how to animate fire, water. I did also like a couple months ago. Yeah, Glassman's writing. I love the lightning. Yeah, it's super easy to do actually. It still looks cool. Yeah. Okay, with that, cool for everyone who joined the stream. Was a fun session today. For me, it's already almost end of the day, so after 11 p.m. Had a great stream, learned a lot today. I hope you also learned a little bit. I will also upload at some point in the next stream the highlights on my socials on Instagram. Maybe you see the shorts from time to time. I have a couple of other shorts I have to prepare for my latest streams, but they will all follow. If you have any questions there, let me know, or in the next streams. Cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. With that, I wish you a good rest of the day. And yeah, see you in one of the next stream. Bye.